Hopefully I'll get some awesome people to show up and hang out. I'm enjoying this beautiful, beautiful day here in Missouri. It's a little hot, but I'm very, very thankful that the sun is shining. All right. Just waiting for some people to hopefully join. And I am ready to rant. We'll see what topic or topics come up. Got my big coffee. I'm ready to go, folks. Ready to go. All right. This will be a relatively short live. I have a lot of things I would like to accomplish before I head to work today. All right. If anyone is playing this on your way in, please hit the like. It's kind and it's free. It's fast. It's easy. Hit that like, please. Let's go. Let's grow. I'm going to shift over a little bit here. All right. Open discussion. So those of you who, if anyone's playing this, that is new to Mine and My Wife's channel. When I say open discussion during lives, I mean if there's anything you would like to discuss, including any question or questions you might have, drop it in the comments, and as long as it's nothing bad, actually don't drop anything bad in the comments. Drop only good things in the comments that you'd like to talk about and any questions. And if it's not bad, I will consider discussing it. That does not mean I will discuss everything. There are some topics I typically avoid on our channel. I think for good reason or good reasons. All right. What a nice day. What a nice day. I'm going to be missing this sunshine when it's fall, when it's winter. I'll be missing this. Days are getting shorter. I've seen a pretty good amount of leaf drop from the trees, so maybe that means that fall will be here soon. Hopefully my phone won't overheat. That would not be good. Let me move it over a little bit more out of the light. You folks see that lemongrass here? That's lemongrass. Lemongrass. Very easy to grow. It's a cut and come again type of plant. So, I'm looking at a really cool butterfly flying around. Beautiful colors. Looks like maybe purple, maybe gold, maybe black, maybe white, gray. Beautiful. Stephen Day wrote, hi. Welcome in, Stephen Day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Welcome in. Welcome in. Corey wrote, yo, welcome in, Corey. Welcome in, Stephen and Corey. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you both for commenting in the chat. If there's anything you folks would like to discuss, as long as it's nothing bad, drop it in the comments, and I will consider discussing it. I see 3 likes already. My first goal for number of likes will be 7. So let's go. Let's grow. Please help my wife and I. Actually, my wife, our 2 sons, and I. Because all support on YouTube helps my wife, our 2 sons, and I. By simply hitting that like, okay? Thank you so much, Corey. That's awesome of you. Thank you so, so much. And thank you for staying active in the chat, Corey. That's awesome. What was I saying? Oh, lemongrass, a cut and come again kind of plant. That might be what I was talking about. It grows really easily. And we've harvested quite a bit from a lemongrass plant or plants, and it just keeps growing, just like grass. It's like when you mow grass, it keeps on growing. Lemongrass is the same way. Highly recommend growing it. In order for it to overwinter or be perennial or whatever, I think you'd probably have to live in like a relatively warm climate, like a subtropical or tropical climate, but we will be bringing at least some of our plants indoors to overwinter them. What does holistic mean? That is an excellent question. And welcome in, Laid Couvert ou Ignorance. Holistic essentially means broad and encompassing all many things or all things. It is an approach to different things like lifestyle, for example, like medicine, for example, that considers interconnected parts of things. Okay. Like in the world of wellness, or in the realm of wellness, for example, holistic would be a multifaceted approach considering many things, as opposed to what a lot of like so-called doctors do, which is just look at symptoms and diagnose. People should be thinking more holistically, thinking about how one thing affects another thing or things, how things are connected. So, with our homesteading, for example, we have systems in place that are interconnected that help us to be more self sufficient. Corey wrote, or no. I'm not sure what you mean, Corey, by the or no comment. I'm seeing 8 accounts here right now, but only 3 likes. So please be kind and selfless and hit that like. What was I saying? Oh, we have systems on our homestead that are interconnected. For example, we have chickens. We raise chickens, and we can feed our plants that we grow to our chickens. Our chickens create manure, which we can compost and slash or apply directly as long as it's only small amounts, and we're careful with how we do that. It's typically too high in nitrogen to apply directly, especially in larger amounts or relatively large amounts. And that compost helps us grow more plants. Chickens lay eggs. If we have a surplus of eggs, we can feed those eggs back to our chickens, okay? Creating loops of self-sufficiency, interconnected things. So nothing we do on our homestead as far as homesteading goes is a thing, nothing I can think of now at least, is a thing just into itself, is an island into itself. We grow food. The act of growing the food, getting that sun exposure, vitamin D, fresh air, the exercise, the physical movement and all that keeps us healthy. Growing healthy food keeps us healthy, okay? Connected there, it's a loop. And like alternative or natural medicine, I guess. I have heard of holistic medicine indeed. Okay, very nice. I would not call holistic medicine alternative medicine. I believe that could be incorrectly used as a pejorative misnomer, as like an insulting, incorrect name, because holistic medicine is the only true medicine. It's the only real medicine that actually works and has been proven to do so for thousands of years. Modern medicine in its different shapes and forms is actually the alternative medicine. Just plant a seed for whoever to think about. But different things we do, back to what I was saying about connected loops, holistic, is we want to be healthy so we can homestead. We homestead in order for us to be healthy. Our chickens are involved in our composting and our gardening. Like I said, we can feed things that we grow to our chickens. And our chickens, with the litter that they create, both in our brooder, our chicken brooder, and in the coop, that is composted to grow more food for our chickens and my wife, our 2 sons, and I. We build soil. The soil helps us to grow more food, feeding back into those systems or that system. In the past, they've used our chickens directly with in our compost pile, and we've actually had them eating in the compost pile, and they would scratch and move and aerate and turn and create more surface area with their scratching, poking through and all that and eating. And essentially, they would make compost for us. So it's pretty cool. Corey wrote, hi. Thank you for staying active in the chat, Corey. And Corey, what did you mean with your comment or no earlier? Just want to make sure I understand you. Ooh, it's hot. I'm sweating. Let me move my phone to make sure that I'm not going to overheat my phone, hopefully. Definitely don't want that to happen. Don't mind me, folks, while I move stuff around here. So like a self-sufficient farm. Yes, exactly. And I'm trying to, let me see if I can pronounce your name correctly. Is it La Découverte? La découverte ou l'ignorance. Is that French? I'm not sure how to connect those words there. Or names or whatever. Je parle un peu de français. J'apprends dans l'école pour 4 ou 5 ans. I could read French relatively well and speak it not very well. I understand a lot of French when spoken and written. Hey, what's up, Verna? And folks, if I say Verna throughout this live stream, I'm talking about the awesome, awesome person who has the channel Vay's Place. What's up, Verna? What are you up to? Oh, Verna, how did your move go? You moved recently, from what I remember, if that's correct. How did your move go? My name is just the name of a song in my language. Name is just the name of a song in my language. It's not my own real name. It is indeed French. Okay. All right, your French is not that bad. Aw. Merci beaucoup. That was kind of you to say my French is not that bad. My fall garden is sprouting. Boom. Awesome job, Verna. Great job. Yes, move was last month, still adjusting. Oh, I totally understand the still adjusting part. I feel like when moving, it could take months or a year or more to adjust. Even the moving itself, like anyone who's ever done a move from like an apartment to a home, a house, or apartment to apartment, house to house, or whatever, um, may understand what it's like to have boxes sitting in a room for months or a year or more. I'm sweating a lot, folks. Please don't mind me. It's hot out here. Got my big coffee. Boom. How you doing, everybody? I'm ready to rant. I'm ready to rant. There's a lot of concerning things happening in the world, folks. And what might be the most concerning thing is how so many people are so asleep when it comes to the concerning things happening in the world. It's strange to say the least how I've noticed in recent years, maybe in the last 6 years or so, give or take, especially in the last maybe 2 or 3 years, how unaware people are of things that are going on in the world. They're so into political theater, they're so into entertainment, celebrities, Netflix, sports, into things that don't matter that they're missing out. They're not even aware and slash or they don't even care about the horrible, horrible things that are going on in the world. Freedom is under fire. And privacy, what little bit people have left around the world, is under attack. Very concerning. I just shared that, and I might not even know why I shared that stuff. Well, when you live alone for 10 years, then move in with your daughter and two of her adult children takes a big adjustment. Yeah, I get that. I get that, Verna. I get that. Being alone, in my opinion, has pros and cons. I mean, I would not and could not, I would not live apart from my wife and our two sons. And I could not be psychologically well living away from my wife and our two sons. Like, I don't understand how people could, for work, business, whatever, could be away from their spouse. And if they have a child or children, away from their child or children. There's no amount of money that could keep me away from my wife and our sons long term. If there's a very, very large amount of money, maybe a few days, a few weeks, maybe a month or a few months, like absolute maximum. And that would have to be a large amount of money, or relatively what I would consider rather a large amount of money. and I would be emotionally destroyed. Shawnee, what's up, Shawnee? Happy you made it. What's up? What's up? When your children grow up and your spouse, oh, hmm. So Verna, my friend, I assume you might have been talking about your children growing up and your spouse dying. Um, did your spouse pass away, Verna? And part of my memory, if you've ever shared that with me. Um, hmm. Yes. I assume that might have been about what I assume Verna was talking about, and slash or about her spouse passing away. He passed 2004. Wow. Approximately 22 years ago. I'm so sorry for your loss, Verna. Wow. Wow. So assuming he was, if he, well, I don't want to assume because I don't know, but if he was around your age, which I don't know how old you are, but I could assume, guess, or whatever, he died relatively young. Relatively young. That's so sad. He was a bit older. Okay. Wow. I'm trying to remember. I think I started saying Shawnee. Verna, how many children you have? I know you have your daughter. I've actually seen her in one of your, at least one of your live streams. I'm trying to remember if you have two daughters. How many children do you have, Verna? I assume him passing might have been tough on your child or children as well. Two girls, 10 years apart. Okay, so I was maybe thinking two girls. 10 years apart. That's I think a bigger age gap than is usual for children. I have two half sisters, and we've got like at least 9 or 10 years between me and my um, one sister, and I think over a decade difference between my youngest sister and I. What are you up to, Shawnee? What are you up to today? Oh yeah, quick update for Verna and Shawnee. Our watch hours have been going down. We're still grinding. We're still going to try to make it happen by January. Hopefully, like at least a month before the change happens. But I don't see that happening. We've been putting out more long form videos than we were for a while. We've got another one ready to post today, and maybe another one ready for tomorrow. I have not been doing the live streams as much as I would like. I've been insanely busy. But even with doing some live streams and putting out more long form videos than we have in recent past, our watch hours are going down. I think we're losing watch hours watch hours that are falling off from one or more of our more successful videos. I think if we have like three very successful videos relative to our typical numbers for our videos, and if I can get up to at least 5 live streams a week and get a few collaboration live streams that we could get watch hours on, there's still a chance. But we're around like maybe 1630 in watch hours, give or take, right now. I wasn't supposed to be able to get pregnant. Things happen when they should. Absolutely. That's a blessing that you got. I'm not sure if you're talking about your first child, your second child, or both, but that's a blessing that you got pregnant. Both times you got pregnant. Those are blessings, rather. I just got home from the garden, started tearing out the old strawberries patch, harvested potatoes, cukes, tomatoes. We kind of failed with cucumbers and tomatoes this year. We got some tomatoes, but not much, not much. I think most or all of our tomatoes were paste tomatoes, like plum tomatoes or whatever. Maybe San Marzano, maybe Roma, maybe both of those kinds. Lemongrass. Lemongrass in the view there. I think it might be messing things up. Let me move my phone over a bit. Hopefully it doesn't overheat. Werner wrote, wonderful, Shawnee. Yes, that is wonderful. Cukes, we had like maybe one or two strangely shaped cucumbers pop up, which I don't recall the variety of varieties that they were. They might have been like Market More or something like that. Maybe one or more of the common varieties, but maybe they were supposed to be shaped how they were. Maybe not. Maybe they just came out weird. Or there was one, or there was more than one, came out weird. We also didn't grow any zucchinis this year. This was a different year. Overall, our gardening was so much better this year. So much better. But there are certain things that we, in the years prior, that we grew a lot more of that we didn't even grow this year. And all that being said, our gardening was definitely much better this year. But like chili peppers, we had none. Been getting a pretty good amount of California wonder bell peppers. Tomatoes, very few. Zucchini, none. Eggplant, none. We've definitely gotten zucchini in the past. And since we've been here in Missouri, I don't recall if we've grown eggplant or not. As far as like my favorite eggplants of all time, I don't even remember the name, but it was a Japanese variety. I believe it might have been a hybrid. I've not been able to find it. It might have been, and I'm leaning towards it was not. I'm leaning towards it actually. I'm just going to go with it. Might not have been Nagasaki type, but it was at least similar to that type. The long, thin, relatively thin type of eggplant on like more of a upright, bushy plant-like growth. And we harvested so many of those in New York. They were delicious, awesome for grilling. I would love to get varieties like that growing again. And if I could ever find that variety, that maybe a hybrid or whatever it was, typically don't like hybrids for seed saving reasons, but if I could find that again, that would be amazing. Colin, I've heard many are having those same problems, blaming on the weather's drastic changes. There's a lot of bad things, purposeful things happening with weather. And I feel to deny that at this point, people are just being willfully ignorant. And or if it's possible to be both, have not looked into it. I could show people primary source evidence. When I say primary source, I'm talking audio, unfettered, not messed with, audio, video. Like one video comes to mind of a military veteran. She was in the Air Force, who worked in a private capacity, I believe. Actually, maybe it was in a public capacity in her military career. Very, very intelligent woman who used to order the chemicals that were being sprayed in the skies, like all irrefutable, like fully transparent record of like her career and everything else, like coming out and straight up saying like, yes, they are buying these chemicals and they are putting them up there. And she was a whistleblower, and she's come out and like her stuff is solid. You cannot argue it, whatever. I could post videos like that and people will still be like, I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe anyone would be evil enough to do that and poison us. Wake up and mature. It's happening. Look up the patents and the different things they've been doing since, I want to say, before Vietnam, and what they did in Vietnam as a military tactic, controlling things. This is not natural, folks. And if you're not angry about it, you're like a zombie, really. If you have any children, if you have any grandchildren, or both, you should be angry. Because if you don't want to care about yourselves, then you could be stupid and not care about yourselves. But you should at least want the world to go in a better direction for your children. And if you have grandchildren, your grandchildren. Shawnee, have to start at our fall winter garden. You're not our. I planted the fall garden early August. I did mine about 10 days ago. We still have a lot of things to transplant. Actually, after I finish this live stream, I might just, boom, bang some of that out, get some things transplanted. Hey, to whoever's listening, we recorded a video. We might post it today if I can edit it, or if my wife could edit it in time, of a little bit of a garden tour. And I just want to throw this out there. Don't judge us from this garden tour. This was simply a tour of our front deck. Our front deck garden is kind of like a miscellaneous garden. It's like, hey, we've got some miscellaneous pots with different things growing in them. Check that out. I get into some educational things there, some tips, and just kind of just a very chill, relaxed walkthrough of our garden on our front deck container garden in that video. So keep an eye out for that. Today or tomorrow it should be posted. Garden tour for August has been posted. Cool. I have to check that out. Very likely to do that. Oh, absolutely, Verna. It's proven historically. It's proven historically, but yet people still just want to be like, I don't want to hear that. Did you see the football game? Did you see the new show on Netflix? They're poisoning us. But I don't want to pay attention to that. People that are grown physically, that might not be actually considered adults, anything that's negative, anything that they don't want to hear, they're just like children. It's very strange. And there's people throughout time that have always been like that. But I notice it in my personal observation, in my opinion, more and more people are like that. You mention anything that they don't like, they're like, la, 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 la. Did you see the big political show on TV where the one group was investigating itself and nobody ever went to jail, just like usual? And they had a big hearing about it and used some harsh words, but nothing's going to happen. Oh, people, if you do not wake up and if you don't do things right now, the future for your children and grandchildren will be a nightmare. Exclamation point. Mark my words, I am 100% confident about that. People avoid it. They just want to be entertained in true a la Roman bread and circuses fashion. I used to post videos, thought-provoking videos on Facebook years ago. And there was a time for years, I believe, I was not on Facebook. Lost access to account, whatever happened. Maybe I think I might have created I think I did create a new one, then ended up not using that, whatever. Back in the days, over 6 years ago, or around 6 years ago and earlier, I'd post things. And even normies, people that are not awake, I'd get some interaction. I'd get some likes, some comments, whatever. Now I get very little or no interaction on my posts about anything that actually matters. But I guarantee if I posted something about a popular TV show, some sports or whatever, oh, people would be full of all these opinions. And they'd be commenting and whatever. And it's a really, really spot-on reflection of how degenerate and stupid and zombie-like our society has become. People are so zombie-like. And I don't want, I would rather not think that about people. I'd rather not be like, call people sheep. Okay? They're not actually sheep. I'm saying they're sheep-like. But it very well explains their behaviors. Hi, Colin. How are you? What's up, Serena? Welcome. And thank you for making it. I'm happy you made it. And I'm seeing 7 likes, by the way. That was my first goal for number of likes. Thank you to everybody who hit the like. I appreciate it. Well, that was you, Serena, made that 7th like. Thank you. The next goal for number of likes is 10. Probably going to finish up relatively soon, folks. Serena, you might have entered mid-rant. I don't know what to do to people. I don't know what to do to get them to wake up and try to be more self-sufficient. I don't know what to do to people to get them to make better life choices. I fail. I make stupid decisions, bad decisions all the time. But I try. I'm trying to be a better person. I orient myself in a direction of self-improvement, of being better. I'm at least aware when I make bad decisions. Most of all the time, I'm at least aware of it. There are people who do not realize that their children and their grandchildren will live unless some action is taken in a nightmarish dystopia. And this might not be what anyone wanted to hear today. But I want to grab people and shake them and say, do you love your children? Do you have grandchildren? Do you love them? You've got to, at the very least, educate yourselves and bring awareness to what's going on. I am not a gambling man, but I would take every penny I have and bet that everything I've said, most or everything I've said, I'm saying most maybe just to be careful, about the direction the world is headed is absolutely true. Yeah, I'm scared of the future for my children. I am too. And I try not to be fearful as a Christian, but I am. I don't know how any loving parent or parent who supposedly loves their children, I'm going to say that because love, just when said and not backed up by action and sacrifice and selflessness, is just words. You got people out here with small children that are obese. That's the parents' fault. At a certain point, children get older. Hopefully they become educated about food. They make better choices themselves, but the damage has already been done. It's the parents' job. Be more accountable. So many parents out there, especially baby boomers. Do a horrible job at being parents, and they don't want to take any responsibility for all the problems their children have. A basic, fundamental psychology 101 understanding of psychology will show you that the lion's share of people's character and their psychology comes from their childhood. Specific age brackets even. The people want to just be like, yeah, I raised my children horribly, but it's their fault. They got to make better choices. What is going on with people? You got people spending 20 plus hours a week watching sports. What losers. What a waste of time in your life. Occasional, if you want to watch sports, which just admit it's useless. Okay, it's useless in the grand scheme of things or whatever. Big picture, it's useless. If you want to watch a little bit on occasion as some type of like mindless escape or whatever, entertainment, okay. But if you're a grown man or a grown woman and you're watching like even 10 hours of sports a week, but you're not growing any of your own food, you're not exercising, you're not feeding your children well, you're not, like, what is wrong with you? People supposedly don't have time to garden. They don't have time to raise chickens. They don't have time to exercise. They don't have time to educate themselves. But they watch Netflix way more than they should. And their intellectual diet is garbage, most of it, or all of it for some people. Come on, people. Show you love your children. People should be willing to bleed for their children, to lay down their lives for their children, and live for their children. I'm sorry, but I'm not, actually, get rid of this, sorry, I'm not. Maybe I was just using that as the expression that people use. But if you've got a child and they're obese because of how you fed them, mine and my wife's sons eat everything we feed them. Every single thing, because they've been trained that way and raised that way since they were born. They have sophisticated palates. organ meats, sheep brains, you name it, healthy foods, whatever it is, animal proteins and fats, all kinds of vegetables, all kinds of greens, they eat it. I'd have more respect for the parent who say, I failed my child because I fed them chicken fingers and chicken nuggets and fries for most of their lives. I fed them fast food garbage. Own it. Admit you failed. Be an adult and make better choices. Stop sucking at life. If that's a bad word, I'm sorry I used it. But come on, people. It's not cute that little Johnny is 7 or 8 years old and he's 180 pounds. Johnny's probably going to have heart disease. Johnny's probably going to be diabetic. Johnny's probably going to die early and have a horrible endocrine system because their parents were horrible parents. Preferences about certain things may be okay, and even then, feed them. Children are meant to be told what to do. Sure, you can accommodate and contour and make things certain ways, but your child should not be picking and choosing everything they eat. Sure, they can have a request. Mommy, I'd like pasta. Mommy, I'd like this, whatever. But they don't get to decide if you want to raise them well. Mine and my wife's sons can go to any restaurant in the world, anywhere in the world. They can enjoy different food, from caviar, including the cheap kind, for those of you who might already be whatever, okay, to whatever it is. And they'll be happier because they get to enjoy more things, experience more things, taste more things. They'll be healthier because of the broad spectrum of nutrients going into their bodies. And you got people out here. I work in the restaurant industry, showing up, and their children are going to have bread and then a grilled cheese with fries as their meal. Everything I've said is a fact. If you don't like it, grow up. A firestorm is coming and it's too late to turn it around. I think it might be too late, at least in some ways, but I think certain things at least are able to be turned around. Too many parents want to be best friends. I completely agree, Craig. And Craig, I think I did not welcome you, and thank you for being here. You caught me mid-rant. You might have caught me mid-rant. TV, video games, never go outside and use imagination. I absolutely agree. My garden did hardly anything this year. It's all good, Serena, but you know what? I have a lot of respect for you for at least trying. Got to go run to the food bank so we can eat the next week. Hey, Serena, you're awesome. Keep on keeping on. Have a good day. You too. I'm going to finish up with that. And if I offended you, maybe you should be offended in the sense that maybe you should be self-reflecting and reflecting on what I said. Maybe convicting or self-convicting or whatever and making better choices. Expect me to keep it real. And when it comes to children and abusing children, I don't want to package it any nicer than I did. I'm going to get going. Thank you to everyone who is here. Take better care of your children if you're feeding them garbage all the time. Don't feed your children any fast food. Or if you can find a healthier fast food option, that might be okay. Otherwise, I wouldn't feed them any of that garbage, especially the big name fast food chains. Wouldn't feed them any of that garbage. You love your children, but you give them poison. Think about it. On occasion, some treats, some things that are unhealthy, whatever, limited amounts on occasion, whatever, that's understandable. And even then, probably still bad, okay? But at least be aware of it. Be intentional. Pick and choose. Weigh the risk versus the reward. Especially those of you with young children, like 15 and under, whatever age. You shape them. You shape their diets. Whatever's common and popular and trendy in the world, most or all of the time, if you do the opposite, you're headed in the right direction. I'm going to get going. First and foremost, as always, and most importantly, God is great.